Hi, my name is Allie and I'm going to be doing a PowerPoint over the Congress of Vienna. So, the reason I chose this was because I really enjoy learning about the old European history, and during high school, we studied Napoleon and the downfall and like the Battle of Waterloo, and I always found it really interesting. So, I thought it would be pretty fun to do this PowerPoint over the Congress of Vienna. So, to start off, we're going to talk about what was the Congress of Vienna. So, the Congress of Vienna was a series of meetings to discuss and agree upon a new possible layout of the European political and constitutional order after the downfall of France, after Napoleon Bonaparte was in office. Where was it? The Congress of Vienna was held from September 1814 to June 1815 in the building on Ballhausplatz. This meeting was held by an Austrian statesman, Clemens von Metternich. So, who was Clemens von Metternich? Clemens von Metternich was a conservative Austrian statesman and diplomat who was the center of the European balance of power. Metternich was born May 15, 1773, and later on died June 11, 1859. Metternich was the organizer of the Congress of Vienna, and he was largely responsible for the policy of the balance of powers in Europe to ensure the stability of European governments. Metternich was firmly against liberal ideas and revolutionary movements. He was forced to resign by the Revolution of 1848. What was the purpose of the Congress? The three main goals of the Congress were to balance the powers of Europe while staying peaceful, and close France's borders, and to restore conservative order. So at the time when Napoleon was in office, he was a fantastic military leader. So he won a lot of battles and basically took over a lot of territory. So when he was out of office and was forced to resign, they had to decide where they were going to distribute all of the land that he had taken over. France had most of the territory in Europe because at the time, France's leader Napoleon Bonaparte was a great military leader and won many battles and took over different territories throughout Europe. Everyone wanted to establish long-lasting peace and stability in Europe after Napoleon was defeated. What caused Napoleon's downfall? Napoleon was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo on June 18th, 1815. In this battle, Napoleon and his army were defeated by Britain, Russia, Austria, and Prussia. This battle ended a long 23-year war. This also ended Napoleon's attempt to dominate Europe, and this battle destroyed Napoleon's imperial power forever. This defeat was so destroying that Napoleon was forced out of office in France and exiled to St. Helena. What led to the Congress of Vienna? After the defeat of Napoleon, monarchs and diplomats from over 200 European states, provinces, and cities traveled to Vienna in the late summer of 1814 to try and reorganize and distribute the power in Europe fairly. Who was involved? The balance of powers that were negotiated at the Congress of Vienna were between five great powers. Those powers were Russia, Great Britain, France, Austria, and Prussia. The leading participants of the Congress of Vienna were British Foreign Secretary Lord Castlereagh, Austrian Chancellor Clemens von Metternich, and Caesar Alexander I of Russia. Other countries that were at the meeting were Spain, Kingdom of Portugal, and the Algarves, Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands, Switzerland, the Papal States, Republic of Geneva, Bavaria, Württemberg, Hanover, and Mecklenburg. Who had the most influence during the meeting? The person who had the most influence during the Congress, the coachman of Europe, was the Austrian foreign minister Clemens Wenzel Prince Metternich, also better known as Clemens von Metternich. Prince Clemens was the host of the Congress as well as the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Kingdom of Austria. Metternich brought the idea to re-establish peace and stability in Europe. To achieve this goal, there had to be a new balance of power in Europe. Metternich and the other 4 represented states had to restore old ruling families and create a buffer zone between major powers. How was the Congress different from other meetings? The Congress was the first occasion in history where a continental scale national representatives came together to formulate territories instead of relying mostly on messages between the several capitals. Unlike Napoleon, Metternich was trying to establish a long-lasting peace in Europe, whereas Napoleon wanted to have a dictatorship and have most of the power established in France. How effective was the Congress at achieving its goals? The Congress of Vienna accomplished exactly everything they set out to do. Through diplomacy, it created a European balance of power that would maintain peace in Europe for nearly 100 years. The Vienna Settlement was the most comprehensive treaty that Europe had ever seen. Europe established a Congress that lasted for more than 40 years and didn't unfold until World War II started, when Germany was seeking total control over Europe. Were there any disagreements in the Congress? The major causes of friction at the Congress occurred over the disposition of Poland and Saxony, the conflicting claims of Sweden, Denmark, and Russia, and the adjustment of the border of the German states. Later on down the road, the Congress was put to blame for the rise of power in Germany led by Adolf Hitler. He led and took over one of the most horrifying dictatorships in history by killing millions of Jews and other ethnicities. How did the Congress change over the years? The result of the Congress of Vienna were new borders throughout Europe. France had to pay restitution, but they still remained a large power in Europe. Slave trade was condemned, rivers were allowed to be used for international trade, and alliances were set up to restore conservative order.